Good morning.
Good morning.
She's come flying in there from stage right. Or was it stage left? I can't tell. The camera's flipped, so that's very, very odd. Very odd.
How are we?
Really good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm giddy. I'm really giddy.
Oh,
very excited. Yeah, it's been a really great weekend, and I'm so excited for the next couple of weeks. So yeah, woken up this morning very, very giddy, and giddy about today. This morning.
I know. It is giddy. Right, I'm going to just do our quick intro before I introduce what is so exciting for us. So for everybody out there who don't know who we are, hello, we are Take Part. We are a fully inclusive place where everyone is encouraged to care for themselves, each other and the team around them, share skills, knowledge, direction, values and experiences, dare to take risks and have the confidence to go that extra mile, prepare themselves for performance for that moment and for life. Please don't forget to like, follow, comment and subscribe. We are currently streaming across multiple media platforms, and we ask that you let us know where you're watching us from in the comments below. If you're watching live, please put a 1 in the comments. If it's a replay, please put a 2. So that's 1 for live, 2 for replay. Okie dokie. It is super duper exciting today because we're not on our own, are we, today?
No. Shall we do the birthdays first?
Oh, go for it. Okay.
We've got really, really big birthdays this week, and I do not want to forget them. So before we start, our fantastic, fabulous Jax from AAA is turning 18 this week, along with Liam. So we have 2 18ths this week, which is really, really exciting. So Liam and Jax, we are going to be celebrating with you this week. Jax is tomorrow, and hopefully we'll see you at Take Part tomorrow. And Liam's is on Saturday. So yes, happy birthday to you two. Now,
happy birthday. Gosh,
Yeah.
18, to be 18 again.
I know. Not even remember that.
I can. It wasn't that long ago for me.
Oh, right. Moving swiftly on.
Yes, moving swiftly on.
Okay, so who's in the waiting room?
We have got 4 people in our waiting room who I'm going to introduce you to really soon. So we have got Sarah Smith, who is head of our acting department, and Carrie Ryan, who is head of our dance department, along with Will, who is one of our new people who have just put into the acting role of teaching acting over at Take Part, which is really super duper exciting, and Caitlin, who has gone into the dance department. So this is super duper exciting. So let's just get them onto the screen right now. Are you ready, guys? Here we go. Ooh, Sarah, Will, and Caitlin.
Oh.
Hello.
Hi.
It's really crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we wanted to talk to you guys today, first of all, to introduce you as departments, but also to talk about, and this week's theme is going to be about goals. So the goals this week, obviously,
Very apt, because of that.
Yeah, and how goals in general help us all. So let's start there, I think. So Sarah, as head of acting,
Yes.
how have you used goals in personal life, but also within your work?
My first thought, I'd say, is Louise always does say, have something to focus on, have your end goal in mind, because everybody needs that focus. And although the focus might be something that's quite overwhelming, it moves you to it. You've got that end goal, your focus is there, and it just keeps you going. So I would say that I always try to have a goal, whether it's something as serious as like Lambda for the kids, like what we do with the Lambda exams, or whether it's something like a show or a performance. It keeps all our kids with a focus, and then they've got something to be proud of at the end of it. So for me, that's really important. And I know we all do it at Take Part as well. So
awesome. Yeah, really good. Carrie, I'm going to throw that across. I'm pretty sure that you have the same sentiments, but
yeah, I'd say similar to what Sarah said. It's always important to start with the end in mind. I'd say that I'm really list orientated, so I tend to write everything down with the goal at the end, and then that is the journey of how I get to that goal. So I think, like Caitlin, you probably see me do that a lot, and you can probably vouch that I'll do that, and you probably do it as well. So yeah, just
and that's really nice, because Carrie, you are Caitlin's mentor, aren't you? So in Caitlin's new role, the mentorship that we offer at Take Part, you are Caitlin's mentor. So with that whole list thing, is that something that you are going to pass down?
Yeah, I think that everything that I've sort of learned across the years, I'm definitely passing down to Caitlin. It's just because I think it's so hard, like when you are 17, 18, to try and get into a role where you're learning like hands-on experience. So I think it's really important. So yeah, everything I've learned, Caitlin shall also learn throughout.
And therefore, then, Caitlin, that opens it straight up to you. So how are you feeling about your new role at Take Part?
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. I'm already looking forward to it, and I just want to get started. Obviously, I'm working at the minute doing a similar thing, but I feel like next year will be a fresh start, and I really like planning for it, and I'm really excited to do the planning. So in terms of goals and stuff like that, I would definitely say I'm a list person too, have lots of little goals, and I'm definitely someone, like I have a whiteboard in my room, and I put like the times and when I need to do it and what I need to do, and if I don't do it, then that's sad.
Oh, so nice. But I tell you what, this is really good opportunity for our people watching right now to start putting in the comments what helps them achieve goals and how they feel about goals as well. So if you pop it in the comments, because it's not a one size fits all, is it? Goal. It's very personal, and some things work for one and don't work for others, and you find your own way around things. So it'd be really interesting just to see what works for people. And Will, over to you. So Will, your role is in the acting department, and you have Sarah as your mentor. So how are you feeling about that, Will?
I'm very excited. I've been taught by Sarah. I've had the pleasure of being taught by Sarah for quite a while. I've had a private lesson with her, and yeah, now I'm being taught the teaching ways of Sarah Smith.
Oh, and how exciting is that? It is so nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's lovely. Like, because I love working with the kids. I'm volunteering at the minute, just doing odd classes and helping where I can, but it'll be nice to take on a more hands-on role from September. But yeah, very
amazing. How exciting. And can I just say, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just say goodbye to the acting department for a second. I'm just going to pop you back in the waiting room while we just have a little chat to our dance department, who this weekend had a massive success. So we can't let that go. We have to discuss how awesome this weekend went. So Carrie, please take it away, because this is your little baby.
Yeah, obviously we had the dance showcase on Friday just gone. It genuinely could not have gone any better than what it did. Like, it absolutely blew my mind. Because of everything with COVID and the rest of it, the kids have worked so hard, and it's been really difficult, like with all the changes, like isolations, had to change patterns, costume changes, everything you can imagine would have gone wrong, but everybody just absolutely pulled it out the bag. And I think it just shows again like what take part's really good for in that teamwork aspect, because right from the top of the school, like from Louise to Jo, Catherine, us as the dance department, then all the way down to like the little babies of being 4 years old, every single person was a part of that team on Friday, and that is why it worked so well. And at the same time, it was just so fun for everybody. There was no, I don't know, there was no shouting. Everything was so calm, and it was just amazing. Like I'm still buzzing about it now, all these days later. So I'm really, really.
Can I just clarify that? So we did do a showcase. It was completely COVID safe. It was outdoors. It was social distanced. And we've never done one of those before. So it was a little bit, well, no, it was an extremely well-oiled machine, let's say. And I know Carrie and I have been working on this behind the scenes in our coaching sessions on how to plan an event like that. And I think just going back to what you just said, it's not about the penalties, it is about the goals. But it is about winning in that respect. And I think everybody won on Friday night. The parents were amazing. You were all so supportive, which really makes a difference.
Yeah.
The whole thing was very, very supported from the little ones all the way up to the mentors. Your team just gathered. I always go on about Avengers. I'm a huge Marvel fan, and I think take part at the moment we've got Avengers Assemble, and that's what I saw right in front of my eyes. It was lovely, really lovely.
Yeah.
Caitlin, what was your role within everything that happened on Friday?
I did a bit of both. So I was backstage helping out with the Stage 2 dance club, running back and forth. I must have got all my steps in because I was there and back a lot, you know, helping with costume changes. But then I was also in one of the numbers with the rest of the AAA. And it was so lovely just to get back. It didn't matter that we weren't inside on a stage, even though we were outside, it didn't feel any different. And it was quite emotional near to the end, like near to the finale. I did start tearing up a little bit, just because we just missed it for so long. But doing both of those things, you feel proud of yourself for being part of it in both ways.
Amazing. Amazing. So, Carrie, can I ask you, when was that moment where you were like, I want to be a dancer, I want to dance?
Oh, yeah. Well, I can remember how I actually got into dancing was really strange. Obviously, I sort of was growing up in the 90s and the noughties when Spice Girls and Steps were like a massive thing, and they were my idols. And all I wanted to do was be part of those girl groups. So they used to run like dance classes where you'd learn their dance routines. So I used to go to them. So that is how I originally got into dancing. But I wouldn't necessarily say I wanted to be a dancer at that point. I was always sporty in the sense that I loved playing football, I loved swimming, I went to dance class, I went to gymnastics, I went to every club you could go to. That was me. But then, I don't know, I suppose when it sort of turned about maybe 12 or 13, so I started getting towards teenage years, and I found that friendship group that I clicked with so well that I didn't have at school. My friends were like my friends from dance. And then I realised I was actually okay at it as well. It's quite good. So I was like, you know what, I actually quite like it, so I'll carry on doing it. And at that point, I knew that I wanted to be a teacher from being at a very, very young age. I think it's just through having like an inspirational teacher. That my dance teacher was lovely. All the teachers have been really, really like privileged to have. But I didn't know what type of teacher. I knew that's just one thing I couldn't figure out. I really liked English. I love reading. So that was my other thing, was completely not sporty at all. And I like dance as well. So it came up when I was leaving high school. I was a bit like, right, well, what do I actually want to do with my life? And it's such a hard question to figure out, especially when you're 16. Like, so I was just like, where are my friends going? They're going dancing. I'll go there. And that was literally it. That was my decision. So I went to dance school and I got in, and then yeah, I became a dance teacher. So it was very, very strange. It was a long process to figure out what I wanted to do.
But isn't that amazing how it wasn't just like I was born to do this kind of thing. It was something that has transpired over going to a group with people who you clicked with, and it has turned into your passion, your life, something that you are very, very good at. And that is like, that's everything, isn't it? Just feeling safe and supported within a group has allowed you to be who you are right now.
I think like that definitely defines like who I am as a teacher as well, sort of creating that team aspect throughout every single class, because that meant so much to me being a kid, and that was the reason why I went to dance and why I went to musical theatre and acting, the rest of it. It was purely for the social group of being in that environment. So that's why, to me, like, that is what inspires my teaching.
I think that was absolutely evident on Friday night, because every single person in that vicinity belonged.
Yeah.
And that there's something really special about that. It doesn't, you know, but clearly you had a goal about being a dance teacher. You are still working towards that goal. I know it's not just about what you can do now, it's about what you'd like to do in the future as well. And I think you are really, really positive about goal setting, Kerry, and clearly that's coming through the children as well. But I do think the community, the family, the belonging that happened there on Friday night was it was incredible, and it really was that made the event work.
Yeah, definitely.
And I would just like, if you don't mind, I would just like to ask you, because we are 100% fully inclusive. You do not have to have ever had a dance lesson in your life, and you know, whoever you are, if you want to come and belong, if you want to come and join in and take part, we welcome you and we want to see you with us enjoying yourself. So how, as a dance department, have you made that work, Carrie, and how have you managed to help make that work?
I feel like it's just a completely different style of teaching. Like, I've worked at many different schools now teaching dance, different ages, abilities, all sorts. But then with Take Part, it's sort from a teaching aspect, you have to make sure that everybody in that class, regardless of any like age, gender, ability, anything, they're able to join in. So it's about constantly being adaptable. So regardless of whether you've danced for 10 years or whether this is your first class and you don't even maybe like dancing or know you like dancing, you will have the best time that you could possibly have, because you'll be involved within that team. And it's something that's so accessible to every single person. And I think that's definitely like when I'm mentoring Caitlin, that we're trying to bring down into everybody's classes, throughout the dance department, throughout just Take Part in general. It's something that's so important.
Yeah, it's really important to us at Take Part that everybody can join in and feel part of the team and not just left in the background. And it's one of those things that everybody feels they are equal in that team, and it's so important, isn't it? And it's what I love about Take Part. It's what I love about being here, and it's why I came to do a workshop and never left. Louise was like, would you fancy doing a workshop? I was like, yeah. And I was like, this is amazing. I don't ever want to leave. Let me move in.
Well, I'll let you into secret. That's exactly what happened with Carrie as well.
Same with me. It's true.
Oh,
it is true.
That's amazing. That is amazing. So thank you so much, Carrie and Caitlin. Please don't go anywhere. I'm going to pop you into the waiting room and I'm going to grab our acting department here now. So thank you so much. I will be seeing you shortly. And we're going to grab our, that was lovely, wasn't it?
So exciting.
Yeah. I'm just going to grab our Sarah and our Will. There they are. Hello. So Will, you featured quite heavily in our dance show on Friday. So amazing. And Sarah, you hosted, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, I hosted.
Tell me how that felt for you, with it obviously being a dance department thing, but at Take Part we all pull together, don't we? So how did that feel for you, from kind of just wanting to be there?
Yeah, exactly that. Like, we might all be in our own departments, but ultimately we are just literally one massive team. And if one of us asks you to do something, we say yes, and we go in it full pelt. And Carrie just came up to me and was like, Sarah, please, can you compare? And I was like, yep, no problem. And yeah, that's what happened. Carrie had much more other things to do, and you need to kind of put your skills in the right places. And obviously with me being head of acting, it's slightly more easier for me to get up and sweep down a mic. So I just said, yeah, no problem, and we jumped into it. But do you know what? I loved it. And I also teach stage 1 dance club, so my little babies are in it anyway. So it, like we say, like, everybody's in it. It might be departments, but you all merge, and I just loved it. I was absolutely amazed. It was just incredible to see faces, like the audience, and when they all stood up at the end and they got a standing ovation, it was just amazing. So yeah, I felt really privileged to be a part of it, actually. So I loved it.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, hasn't it, these performances? And just kind of opening this up now away from dance, but I know that this has affected everybody across Take Part. But when we think about the resilience that has had to come, and we've all had to dig deep as tutors, as students, Will, you will know from the student side of it, so this is going to definitely come your way in a second. But I think from March the 23rd last year to where we were this weekend, we've come a long way, and we've all been through the mill. And so I would like to know from you, Sarah, how has acting helped you dig deep?
Well, if it hadn't been for my acting, I don't really know where I would have been this year, because I always said this. It was something for the kids to keep them like going, and to keep that goal that we keep talking about, to keep them moving forward. But looking back, it was exactly the same reason why it kept me moving forward at the same time, because I had to get up, I had to inspire the children, I had to make it fun, and it was keeping me really present, keeping me doing things, keeping me busy, like taking away from the mindset that everybody was going throughout COVID. So I'm so grateful for it. It was hard. I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination that I want to go back there anytime soon, but looking back now, it was just as much something that kept me going as it did for the children. And the children, students, older children, were just amazing for me. Like, absolutely amazing. Like Will, for example, the fact that you did your GCSEs, 3 Lambda exams, you turned up every single lesson, never missed one. You were going through absolute turmoil with everything, and you just, the things that I don't want to take it away from him, but what he's achieved is just a testament to him. And it's the same all the way through our like the students that take part. Like, their own journeys have just been amazing. And then throw the pandemic on it, and you just think, wow, it's just incredible. They are incredible.
Absolutely. So, Will, let's throw this straight to you. In that case, the ball is now in your court.
Yeah.
How did Take Part help you through that time?
I think it was a very strange time for all of us, and I think a lot of stuff was pulled away from us, because obviously I had just started year 10, started getting into my GCSEs, so that was a period of change in itself. But then when obviously lockdown happened, I know Take Part did a performance the night before it went into it, and it was just pulled right from under our legs. It was just really strange. And I think because of it was very unknown circumstance, no one knew what to do, yet Take Part managed to prepare a Zoom platform, and it was just something constant, because it's very easy in that period you lost track of time, because you were inside all the time. It was almost doing the same thing every day, and you can get bogged down by all the negatives when it was there. It was all the stress about what's going to happen with schools, all these rising deaths, all this quite sad happening at the time. But then Take Part was still there to support me and all the students that Take Part. They were always there. It wasn't just turn up to class. You could email them if there was needed to change, because they understood that it wasn't an easy time. It wasn't just black and white, turn up to the class. It was people had parents doing work, and it was just the flexibility and that constant. It was the only thing that was a form of normal, and it added that fun back into your life. It wasn't the getting bogged down by, oh, we're stuck inside. It was looking on the bright side and having that. I know acting was a massive thing for me. I was still working towards my LAMDA exam, but possibly in a way that I didn't think I was going to do. It gave me time to look into more my character or something like that. And even with dance, like Carrie, I know I do a lot of dance with Carrie, and even that managed to work. You would never think it, but everyone just worked as a team at Take Part to kind of bring together this platform, which we're still using and still works. It's going to be a really good asset to Take Part. But yeah, it was amazing.
And how did it feel to finally get that show happening?
Oh gosh, it was one of those things. We had just done a dress rehearsal right before the actual show. I was absolutely knackered from it, and if any other day, I shouldn't have gone for it as much as I did in the dress rehearsal. But I think it was just the adrenaline, because we hadn't done it in so long. It was a bit unknown again, because it was almost a year since we had done a performance. And I think it was just having the audience there, because obviously, yes, it's all well doing things online, but you never really get the same reaction than a crowd being there, seeing what you've worked on. And because we had been through so much to get these dances together, it almost felt more important, because it was that more difficult, that more we had to work together. It just felt a good moment to show off what we had done. It was just it was really nice.
So Will, over the course of the last 18 months, not only have you gone through what everybody else has gone through, but you have applied for a teaching role at Take Part, and very successfully. And you are now part of our acting department. So huge, mega congratulations to you, and obviously to Caitlin as well with her dancing. And so Sarah, you are Will's mentor, and you are now part of the mentorship here, Will. How are you feeling about that? And what do you think you're going to be able to pass on to Will through you being a teacher? Like, what have you got that you can pass on to Will?
Lots of games. I'm joking. No, I'm really excited, really, really excited. A bit like what Carrie said. Obviously, everything I've learned, everything I've done so far with drama school training and experiencing work and things like that will just get filtered down to Will. I think for me, I'd like to really focus on energy and like reading the room. I do think that's something that like I'm quite proud of that I can do. So I'd like to definitely try and feel like when Carrie said about lists and planning, for me, it's a lot about energy and kind of finding that blend. Like my focus 100% is balancing the fun with the skills. I always have that running through, because if they don't know the learning, that's the best thing. If they're having the best time, smiling their heads off, running out, going, no way is it over, but they've taken away skills that when they get to grade 6, they go, oh, I did that 3 years ago. And I'm like, yes, you did. That's the type of thing that I want to kind of instill into Will and my other department as well. I've got another 3 boys as well. I've got all the boys in my acting department. So I'm very lucky. It's just exciting to have help. And it's exciting. Really need some help. So that's great. And I just think it'll be nice just to kind of teach them things that maybe they haven't seen from our point of view, which will hopefully help both aspects, both in his acting and when he's in the classroom in front of the children. So yeah, it's going to be fun, really fun.
Fabulous. And how do you adapt? Like I asked Carrie before about Take Part being fully inclusive. How does that help people who haven't had an acting class ever in their life, are afraid to use their voices, are afraid to stand and be the person in the center of the room or the spotlight? Like, how does acting help that person?
Well, for me, it starts with confidence. So like, yes, okay, acting is about being a character and jumping onto the stage and reactions and all of those types of things in relationships, but it all depends on the child. If the child isn't got confidence and can't believe in themselves enough to have the voice, and that's where we start. We start with the confidence, and we start in something that they can do, and slowly but surely everything will start to build. So if they can't speak of them as their own voice, but they can speak as a princess, then we'll speak as a princess, and then it will build, and then eventually the princess's voice will become their voice, and then we start to kind of build in them. I've got to say, I think confidence is huge in my lessons, like belief, self-belief, believing that they can do anything, and it's a safe space. If it goes wrong, it's okay. I think a lot of that, it is that, like, to know that it's okay to go wrong and they're not going to get laughed at and it's not going to be frowned upon and it's not a mistake. If anything, it's a learning curve. Brilliant, right? That didn't work for that character, so what does? Let's try this, let's try that. So for me, it just depends on the child. I think I really don't want anyone to feel like they can't, if they struggle with reading or they think, oh, there's too many lines. Please don't think like that. There's so many ways around it, so many ways. And if you're loving it, it comes so much easier than, it's not English. Please don't think like, oh no, there's going to be loads of scripts and loads of line learning and how they're going to get around it. We'll get around it. I have got around it. There's lots of children that I teach that absolutely hate anything to do with reading or English or anything serious. It's just not in our lessons, but they've done a Lambda exam and they got a distinction. So there's ways around it and it's amazing. So please don't like feel like that's going to be an obstacle, because it isn't. I just work to your child basically and get them where they need to go. That's
amazing. You absolutely do. You absolutely
so important for Take Part. We learn from the children, and I think that's such a big part of the mentorship. That it is not one size fits all, and we've seen that with the young people that have now got these positions that are coming into place in September. There are 10 of them, and I think they can clearly see that it was not one size fits all for their journeys. Everybody needs something a little bit different. And I think, Sarah, you've actually hit the nail on the head there, that, you know, you do read the room extremely well and you do notice who needs what, and you're able to differentiate your lessons according to who's in the space in front of you. And that goes for the whole of the SLT. You do that extremely well. It's something we really pride ourselves on at Take Part, and I think that will be a really good journey for the mentees that are coming into place in September. That there's lots to learn. Just because you can do it, and you absolutely you can do it, but teaching is a very, very different game, isn't it? And I think when you're looking at a career at drama school and beyond, then teaching skills are extremely important and necessary.
And it's also part of, obviously now Take Part has become part of your journey, Will, Caitlin's journey, and every other student teacher that we've given jobs to the past few weeks. It's kind of building, keep on going with those skills. So you've come to the end of what you think is you are as a pupil, and now you want to build upon that and still stay within this safe zone of Take Part, in this supportive network. And we are delighted to have you all on board and to kind of say, yes, come on, come and join the band, come on, because we have so much fun over here. So that is really, really nice to kind of, now these students that we were teaching as little children. In fact, little Will here. Yeah, little Will here. And it was baby Will literally like 4 years ago. And now Will is a young man who is now a student tutor, who is now very, very responsible and still has a growth to go. And that is really important to see you develop in that way now. And it's a different way of developing, but it's fab.
And we still very much encourage the performance side of things. You know, we'll not stop performing. I know he's got things happening. Leanne, you still perform. Sarah, you still perform. It's important. It's part of your own growth. And, you know, we want that to happen for you. And these journeys that you're on, whether it's coaching journey with myself or whether it's a mentoring journey with a member of the SLT, it's all about the person in front of you. So if that is teaching, then fine, but if that is performance, then that is so important to that person, and we will make that happen. We will help them make that happen. We won't do it.
Absolutely.
Unlock their potential so they can do it. But yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to bring back our dance department. So just to let them know, I'm going to bring them back. I know Eli the cat was making an appearance a minute ago, and I was just wondering whether we would just have a cat wander across. It's possible. But I would just, before we go, I would just like to open this up to everybody about, obviously going back to our theme of goals, and what goals and how important is it to have goals? So what goals for you would you like to set yourself for the next few weeks, year, 10 years? Like, have you got any personal goals or professional goals that you have for yourself? So I'm going to open that up to, I'm going to go straight to our student teachers, and I'm going to go to Will first.
Okay. So I think for me, I am really keen on being a versatile performer. I think this idea of being able to, because it's such a creative industry, but it's also very unpredictable. Like you never know what challenge is going to be thrown your way. For me, I would love to perform. I do really love being up on that stage, playing a character, but then I also do love sharing knowledge and experience. So I think for my end goal, probably not in the next couple of weeks, let's be realistic, but I think my end goal in a few years, once I've done my college training, is to get to be a performer, but also be able to balance that with teaching. I think it's really important, like what Take Part does, is sharing this knowledge, sharing the fun aspect of it for this next kind of generation coming into it, as it's a great industry. But I think for short-term goals, I think it's just working on my teaching skills. I want to learn from Sarah, because I know I benefited a lot from not only Sarah, but all the teachers that Take Part's kind of way of teaching. It's all different, but they all share this kind of student-centered approach, kind of feel. They all have that to heart when always designing it to the specific pupil. So I think just learning from them specifically for my short-term goal.
Oh, thank you, Will. And Caitlin, same question. So have you got any goals personally or professionally?
So for me, I'm pretty similar with Will, like to set a long-term goal and a short-term goal. I would say at the minute, I'm very much I'll just do it. I like to do everything. I don't like stopping that often. So taking all the opportunities, that's something that I try to continue to do all the time. And then I think Louise not long ago asked us a question about our goals, and I said I wanted to be the boss. So and
that's fine.
Yeah,
I am with you every step of the way.
I do want to be a boss of something anyway. And I think through their mentoring, as we've said before, like, Carrie's so organised, and just from that, like, that's another thing to for me to learn from and try to bring that into my own life, and I've already felt that change already over the past term. Definitely being able to set little goals to then be able to make a bigger goal. Similar to Will, I would say my end goal, I would love to do as much performing as I can, but it's not something I have my heart set on. I don't have my heart set on being on the West End or anything like that. It is teaching, because I do, we obviously do both teaching and performing, but teaching is the thing that I mainly look forward to every time. Like, that's what I think about when I think about take part, and I think that's that's the direction I do want to go in. So I guess that's the long-term goal, and then short-term, just to keep getting those skills to be able to do that and keep going.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Carrie, what about you? Do you have any personal, professional goals?
I have so many goals. So I have personal and professional, short-term and long-term, just because why not? So I'll start with professional first. So my professional short goal is to start and finish choreographing our next set of shows. Okay, so that is my immediate thing that I need to tackle in the next couple of weeks. My professional long-term goal is that I am going to pass my acrobatics exam, so I'm able to enter people into acro exams. So that's my professional. Like my personal goals, my short term is that I need to start getting back into my 8 a.m. gym sessions. So I need to start getting up and going back to the gym early. And then long term, I need to set more time to do nothing, just to chill and do nothing, literally do nothing. So that's it.
Good for you. Good for you. Sarah, what about you?
I've learned through this that I clearly don't make enough goals. And my, like, oh my goodness. And my goal, my only goal in my head right now is getting to the end of this term. That's my focus point. That's where my energy is. I need to get to the end. I want the kids to have fun. We've got 2 more weeks. So at the moment, I'll be honest, I haven't really got space for anything else. My energy's on that. So I think if I can just focus on that and I can get to the end of that, then I'll probably start bringing in my own personal goals and things like that over my holidays. But I mean, if it was personal, I think it's just have fun and not feel guilty and have a break, because we've all given so much this year. And I know a lot of us think the same. Like, if we sit down and we don't do anything, we feel quite guilty. So if once I've got my short-term goal finished, it'll probably be just enjoy the summer, like everybody has the right to, because we all deserve it. So I think that's for me.
And I think we've looked at that. I know it doesn't seem like a goal, but I know we've looked at that, Sarah, in your coaching sessions. That is something that you want to do, and that is your goal. And we've planned that you do that, and that you've got the space to be able to do that. So it doesn't. Sometimes our goals don't feel like goals because they're kind of not tangible. But if we plan ahead and know where we're going, what our life wants to look like, that is achieving your long-term goals, isn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely is. And what do we think, just before we kind of say goodbye, because I realise this has been quite a long live today. So thank you once again for your time, everybody. But what do we think about people who aren't necessarily into the arts or creative? So this is open to absolutely everybody. How important is it to set yourself achievable goals?
Well, I think it's extremely important. I encourage all our young people and our tutors to set themselves goals, because it gives you something to work towards. And I do think we did bring it home last night. I do think we did bring it home. We were there, we were present, and all those people that were involved in that worked towards it. And it's not always about the result. It's about the goal, and we achieved. And I think we should be really proud of them. And I think that's the kind of ethos that we have at Take Part. You know, we get there. We absolutely get there because we aim to get there. So these next couple of weeks, I agree with Sarah. There's a lot going on. We've got a lot of stuff going on, but we will get there because we've planned for it, and it's in our plan. So absolutely, extremely important.
And just very quickly before we go, so like the world now is starting to open up and the country is starting to open up, we have kicked off our show last Friday with our dance department, and we have more shows coming up. So they are like, we haven't had a show in 18 months and now they're like buses. They are all coming at once. So if our parents out there are wondering which show their child is in and have they bought the right tickets to see the right show, then please don't feel like you are alone in that. We all have those little worries and those little things going on in our head. So please save yourself any stress and email us at, I'll pop it up on the screen right now, email us at info@wearetakepart.com and we will be able to answer your questions. We do have our awards show for New Mills coming up this Saturday, and the following Saturday, the 24th of July, is the Glossop show. So we also have our P&P and Triple A show on the 23rd of July. So again, we have so many shows coming up. And if you are confused as to which one your child is in, please email us in and we can put your mind at rest and point you in the right direction for your tickets. So thank you ever so much, everybody, for coming on. And it's lovely to see you and to welcome our newcomers to our staff.
Can I just say, if you are not part of the community and you would like to be, we've got some brand new clubs coming to New Mills and hopefully to Glossop as well. We've got Space in Our Dance Club, which is going to be on a Friday evening. We've also got brand new Simply Acting clubs with Sarah, and no doubt will be involved in them as well. And we've also got, which I do believe Roxy's going to be on our live next week, which is our Harmonics group, which is going to be a new club. All these clubs are for all ages. So if you want to get involved in something creative and you're not quite sure what that is, come and have a free trial with us first week in September. And our lovely teaching team will point you in the right direction and let you have a go and take part.
Thank you so much.
Have a great day, everyone. Bye.